So I decided that I was going to go to Bermuda. I was super excited that this trip was coming up. Oh, I can't wait. The natural question after I decided that I was going to go to Bermuda was what? What's my plan? I mean, I had to figure out what my plan was in terms of, well, how am I going to get to Bermuda? Where am I going to stay when I get to Bermuda? What am I going to do when I get to Bermuda? How much time am I going to stay in Bermuda? I mean, I had to come up with a plan for this trip that I decided that I was going to go on. Oh my goodness, listen, what's the plan? That's the question that comes up naturally when we make a choice, when we make a decision. How am I going to keep my word? How am I going to follow through? What are the steps that I'm going to take in order to be able to recover? What's the plan? Adrienne Benton here, author of the journal, A Greater Force Than Failure, Intentional Time with God. And we are doing a 7-day series on 7 ways to learn from your mistakes. And here on day 5, step number 5 is create a plan. That's right, create a plan. You see, it's very hard to recover, to be restored, to get over anything if you don't have a plan for how you're going to keep on keeping on. That's right. A plan is so important, and a plan is something that we have to be intentional about. I mean, many of us have heard that phrase, that quote that says what? If you fail to plan, then you plan to fail. Oh my gosh. I don't know too many people who really consciously walk through life planning to fail. But when we're not intentional about our plans, our life plans, right? Then what we're doing is actually setting ourselves up to not succeed. It's so important that we have a life plan. A life plan is important so that you can take control of your life and your future, right? You talk to God. God, who have you called me to be? Where am I supposed to go? What is my purpose in life? And as God reveals that to you, then what you do is you stop and you identify your value system. You identify what's important to you. What is God sharing with you about where you're supposed to go in life, right? And so what you want to do is, number 1, you want to create a vision. What does it look like for you to recover from mistakes? What does it look like for you to be in a position in life, a mindset, a frame of mind where you are able to make wise decisions and actualize them, right? Yeah. So create the vision. You want to next do a self-assessment. Like, be honest with yourself. What do I really want? What do I bring to the table? What are the areas of my life where I'm able to see my strengths, and what are the weaknesses that by prayer and intentionality that I'm able to grow from? What are the priorities in my life? In the various seasons in which we live, your priorities are going to shift. In one season of your life, your priority might really be career, right? And studying or getting that degree. It might be physical fitness. It's really important in life that you prioritize your life. Prioritize your roles. Prioritize next your values. It's really important to prioritize your values. How do you do that? Look at your life. Look at the journey of life that God is allowing you to be on. Take time to feel and analyze the differences within your core values. Stop and look at who you are now and process who God has called you to be. The fact that you're created in his image and gifted with the ability to have wisdom and a sound mind. And again, identify your value system. If you say, I want to be a man or a woman who is compassionate, who is sensitive, who stays aware, then that becomes a part of the measuring tool for you being able to look at your actions and your speech to be able to identify whether you are compassionate in the majority of your dealings, whether you are respectful for others, right? You make a decision and you stop and look to see, does this align with my value system? You also want to establish goals. Okay, it's one thing to sit and to plan, but if you don't have a goal, what's the end result? Then it's like you're just moving, but there's nothing that you're really working towards, right? We have our ground level goals and we have our high level goals, right? So a ground level goal and a high level goal. The high level goal is the end result. What do I want to accomplish over several years, right? And my ground level is what am I going to do right now? And so it's really important that we take time to create a plan. In the journal, there are some questions that we are encouraged to ask ourselves as we are actualizing the plan for our life. So here's a question from page 56. How will I rely on God's wisdom as I learn life lessons from my mistake? Okay, so we have homework in each of our steps. Homework for today, question number 1. Ask yourself, how will I rely on God's wisdom as I learn life lessons from my mistake? It's really important that we stop and ask ourselves, that we create the plan for how we're going to be intentional with walking in tandem with God. On page 57, the other part of your homework, it says, write a personal prayer for the power of God to learn lessons from my mistake. It says prayer is just a conversation with God. Prayers can include worship, confession, thanksgiving, and/or requests. So homework number 1. How will I rely on God's wisdom as I learn life lessons from my mistake? And question number 2, homework number 2, write a personal prayer for the power of God to learn lessons from your mistakes. I'm telling you, as you move forward with our homework assignment, as you move forward with being intentional about creating a plan for your life, no one can live this life like you. But as you move forward with creating a plan and actualizing that plan, I'm telling you, you are going to see your life change for the better, not just for you, but for everyone that is in your life system. All right, Adrienne Benton, author of A Greater Force Than Failure, Intentional Time with God. This is day 5, create a plan. If you have not joined us for the previous days, I want to invite you to go back and watch the videos for day 1, 2, 3, 4. And process day 5. Don't forget your homework. There are 2 items that you're going to take the time to write down, and you're going to process, ask yourself, and pray through the answers there. Also, if you have not purchased the journal, I want to invite you to go ahead and purchase the journal so that you can remain on this journey with us. You can purchase the journal from my website, forwardmovementministries.org, forwardmovementministries.org, or you can purchase it from Amazon. You can get the paperback and the Kindle version there. You also can join and follow us on Facebook, Forward Movement Ministries. You also can, once you own the journal, you can have access to our private Facebook page, A Greater Force Transformation Lab. You don't want to miss it. We have exciting once a month live sessions, as well as we have a 30-day online retreat. 30-day online retreat full with lessons from myself and from other presenters as we go through the journey together and as we grow from faith to faith. All right. As always, I invite you to walk with the King and be a blessing.